Hey everyone, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's topic will be kinda a bit more serious considering the allegations that have been brought upon Lucas. With 1 week until his solo debut, I thought it would be a decent time to give my take on the whole issue, which seems to be a bit different from the general reactions that I've been seeing. Having a documentary introduce him back into the spotlight, this was met with mixed reception, and so my plan is to look more into both the documentary and the whole issue to see where the two contrasting sides are coming from. But yeah, before I start, I'd appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to my channel. Without further ado, let's start off with a slight summary of the controversy. The general TLDR for this controversy was that Lucas was accused by 4 different people of various things, including gaslighting, financial exploitation, manipulation from power imbalances of being an idol, and potential essay allegations. This led to Lucas apologizing to those who were hurt by my wrong behavior, as well as SM halting his activities for 2.5 years. I think the general feeling to the allegations combined with the apology made him look pretty guilty. If there wasn't anything to hide away from, then Lucas wouldn't need to go on such a long hiatus. I mean, we recently had former K-pop trainee Bomhan who had to debunk essay allegations made by an alleged 14-year-old girl faking all these allegations. The only contrasting difference between the response time is that Lucas was and is still under a company, and so there are a lot more formal procedures in handling and addressing situations like these. But at the bare minimum, we should have seen SM deny or confirm that they're looking into the accusations as the standard procedures to controlling the perception of their idols. However, from the first allegations being released to now, not much has been said from SM's side to fully confirm or deny the allegations besides the standard apology for causing concern. As a result of what was provided by SM, this has left the door open for speculation, and their inability to be direct served as confirmation to people that Lucas was guilty. The next part will look through the same timeline but will lead to the opposite conclusion. The other perspective that I feel like some people don't acknowledge is the varying debunking that has been done by fans. I mean, from manipulated chats, photos, misinterpretation of statements or text, to even just timelines not aligning to where Lucas would have been, there just seems to be a lot of potential evidence that debunks a lot of the allegations. There are 3 perspectives that I can see in how people have perceived this evidence. First perspective is the fact that he apologizes, and so this completely negates the validity of any evidence. To that, I would say the apologies provided have been pretty vague, so it's been a lot of assuming that's been done to align with your perception. I mean, in the context of Korean culture, both sides tend to apologize within K-pop controversies, regardless of being innocent or not, as your image within society is such an important factor, and so to be associated with such allegations, there is a need to take responsibility of being associated, whether it is intentional. The second perspective is that these allegation debunkings have been taken into consideration but are not valid enough to be considered proper evidence due to either not being official legal stuff or the assumptions that fans have fabricated the evidence. From the research I have done, there seems to be no one that has clearly debunked them, so unless I'm missing something, there really should be no reason not to take these into consideration. Personally, some of the evidence seems pretty valid while others aren't that strong enough for me, but the overall sentiment in my perspective is that not everything being accused is legit. I think what confuses me the most is the fact that both sides' form of evidence hold very similar grounding in whether to value their evidence. Neither have 100% definitive proof that Lucas is innocent or guilty, and so it's weird that everyone is so quick to dismiss the other side while accepting one side. The final perspective is that people are just not aware of these alleged debunkings, which is kinda worse if you're able to state opinions without objectively looking at both sides. I feel like us as K-pop fans continue to make the same mistakes. We have become such a reactive community that we take most things at face value without an ounce of critical thinking. There is little room for nuance within these discussions as people constantly expect it all to be black and white. This leads us to the next section and the catalyst of all these Lucas discussions re-emerging. In February 2024, we would see a documentary titled Freeze be uploaded which discussed his hiatus and how he has changed as a person. In the documentary, we would see him apologize. However, the apology would once again be ambiguous, leading to both sides believing their side has been reinforced. The documentary doesn't have too much overall substance in addressing the allegations properly. Instead, it feels more like a tactic from SM to garner sympathy from viewers while showing the new Lucas. I'm not completely sure the purpose of what SM was trying to achieve, considering this has never been done before, where a company half-heartedly protects their artists by continuing to support them without putting to rest the allegations. The question of if he's actually changed like the documentary portrays is really up to the viewers to decide for themselves. The criteria of feeling like someone has changed can mean different things towards different people. However, what is kinda weird is the fact that after all these years, they're still keeping it vague. This is kinda pure speculation from me, but I feel like this aligns with the narrative of the documentary as well as kinda how I see it, I guess. I think that Lucas as a teenager could have not been the most perfect person and had issues here and there, like most people do. As a result, this couldn't be completely denied, as this could have led to actual childhood stories of him being troublesome being exposed. The fact that some of it could have been allegedly correct makes it harder to hurdle over. What part specifically? I wouldn't know, considering all the vagueness. However, the ones that are true were probably not impactful enough to warrant him being dropped completely. I mean, we've had other SM idols face similar allegations, and not much was done in completely dropping them. And so, that is kind of my perspective and my interpretation of how everything is the way it is.
I can do this all day. Back it up, back it up. So till I hit that line.
I think it's pretty interesting to see so much effort being put into rebuilding Lucas, considering the nature of K-pop listeners, as well as having seen K-pop companies let go of idols for relatively minor things. I don't think we can really chalk it all up to just being a moneymaker, considering the impacts that negative controversies can have on idols. I mean, considering the little forgiveness that is given within the community, his future career will always be filled with these discussions until it is ultimately addressed more sufficiently. It could also be the type of allegations made against him that worsens it, but if we look at the recent controversies like aespa's Karina's dating scandal, or even the members of Rise and their childhood being exposed, there is no complete winning even if those two examples make no sense as to why they're blowing up with the respective idols getting backlash. I think certain topics like these can get a bit complicated, especially when there's no definitive evidence, but choosing to believe one hearsay over the other hearsay should not make sense. I do understand the messaging of we should believe all victims, but the real question should be, are we supporting and believing the actual victim? It's alright if you want to advocate for injustice, but it's also a very blurry line to just believe the alleged victim when we've started to see more Uno reverses within K-pop controversies. And then if your decision was to believe all the allegations, then what does this mean for idols who still continue to associate themselves with Lucas? I mean, he isn't blacklisted within the industry, and so would those idols be technically enabling whatever you think he's done? I mean, Chinese Key shouted out Lucas's name during their concert, and then if idols still follow him on socials or do TikTok challenges with him, will this be where the hypocrisy starts, where there are exceptions or you can start to give forgiveness to an extent? People should be able to decide whether to support Lucas or not, but it is kinda clownish behavior to perpetuate your beliefs as 100% fact when both sides aren't completely proven. Obviously, this doesn't mean that you can't talk about it considering the serious nature of some of the allegations. However, caution should be taken in how we discuss these matters. With the information out there, the conversation always seems to go from 0 to 100 real quick. I mean, all this attention could even be redirected to support Wavy, considering a frequent side discussion has been the mistreatment of Wavy ever since the controversy started. However, their mistreatment has also long dated before the controversy, and so we can't really put all the blame on Lucas and his controversy. All this to say, we can't completely control what is done, but we can control how we show our support. Final thoughts. I'm not completely interested in helping Lucas prove his complete innocence because even I can't definitely say he's clear of everything. However, I also don't believe we need to completely crucify him for something that is still mostly speculation at most. The cruelty of K-pop fans have become more prominent with the globalization of a newer audience, and so hopefully more can be taken away from this video beyond he's just guilty or he's innocent. I recently read an interview done with Berry Good's Day on the impact that false bullying allegations had on her. It's a good read, and it's just another example of how reactive we tend to be without critically thinking to formulate actual opinions and discussions. The decision to support or boycott Lucas is ultimately up to you. I'm not here to sway people to one side, however, do consider how you convey your thoughts, because words do have power. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts on Lucas's controversy, your thoughts on his debut if you watched this after it, and just anything you think might add to a productive conversation regarding any topics from this video. My next video will probably be the YG video. I mean, with Baby Monster's debut coming up real soon, I thought it would be cool to maybe add a bit of an updated thoughts into that video. Other than that, I've been busy with life stuff, so haven't been able to think of more ideas to discuss about. The frequency of uploads might start to slow down also, but we'll just kind of see for now. But yeah, if you're interested to hear more about my thoughts, then please like and subscribe to keep up to date, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!